2026. If you would all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to go to item number 2 on the agenda. It's the consent agenda. The listing under consent agenda is a group of items to be acted on with a single motion and vote. Oh, we need to do the roll call first. Sorry. Let's do that.
Medina, Kiefhofer,
Here.
DeHaven,
Here.
Dobry,
Here.
Randall,
Here.
Lewis,
Here.
Spruill.
Here. Mayor Medina is not with us tonight. So let's go back to listing under consent agenda is a group of items to be acted on with a single motion and vote.
No.
We have to approve the regular agenda? Okay.
I move that council approve the agenda as presented for April 14th, 2026.
Second.
Kiefhofer,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Spruill.
Yes. One more time. The listing under consent agenda is a group of items to be acted on with a single motion and vote. This agenda is designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. Either the public or a council member may request that an item may be removed from the consent agenda at the time prior to council's vote. The mayor will ask if a citizen or council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda for discussion, and it will be the mayor pro tem. Item number 2A, approval of the minutes for the City Council meeting on March 24th, 2026. B, approval of the expenditure list for April 14th, 2026. C, approval of 4 special event permits to allow Cortez Retail Enhancement Association, CREA, to host the 3rd Thursday events on June 18th, July 16th, August 20th, and September 17th, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The events will be held in Montezuma Park at the corner of Market Street and Montezuma Avenue, Cortez. D, approval of 2 special event permits to Fundamental Needs Incorporated to host 2 special events on April 30th, 2026 from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. and May 28th, 2026 from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. to be held at 209 West Main Street, Cortez. E, approval of renewal of a fermented malt beverage and wine liquor license for Worldwide Restaurant Corporation, DBA Pizza Hut of Cortez, located at 1119 East Main Street, Cortez. F, approval of a renewal of a fermented malt beverage off-premises liquor license for Western Refining Retail, LLC, DBA Speedway, number 9496, located at 2021 East Main Street, Cortez. G, approval of a renewal of a fermented malt beverage off-premises liquor license for Western Refining Retail, LLC, DBA Speedway 9492, located at 2320 East Main Street, Cortez. H, approval of a renewal of a hotel and restaurant liquor license for the Thai Cortez, LLC, DBA Thai Cortez, located at 1430 East Main Street, Suites 1, 2, and 3 of Cortez. I, approval of a transfer of ownership of a fermented malt beverage and wine license for Paragon Business Investments, LLC, DBA Gopher Food and Fuel, transferring ownership to UPOP Holdings, LLC, DBA JR's Country Store, number 49. J, approval of renewal of retail marijuana store license for Durango Organics, LLP, DBA Dio Cortez, located at 1013 East Main Street, Cortez. K, approval of renewal of retail marijuana store license for Mountain Annie's LLC, located at 435 East Main Street, Cortez. Does anyone in the public have anything they want removed from the consent agenda?
I move that council approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Lewis,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Kiefhofer,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Spruill.
Yes. Item number 3, public participation. Individuals may not comment on items that are on council agenda during the public participation time. There is no limit to the number of speakers, although public comments will be held to an overall time limit of 30 minutes. Speakers have a time limit of 3 minutes per person, may only speak once, and may not cede time for another commenter. Do we have any comment cards?
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome James McGinley to the podium.
Backward planning or catastrophe? Friends, I had an insight today that helps me understand better some collisions that we've been having. And I think we've been trying mutually to understand each other, so I'm going to offer it to you. Forward planning and backward planning. The first 8 years of my career was in helping medium and large corporations and manufacturing move from floundering to thriving, in large part by incorporating backward planning, which they had considered nice to have, alongside the forward planning that was natural to them. The rest of my 18 years in high tech was profoundly backward planning intensive because, in a way, there was no forward to move from. New businesses, new technologies, new markets. Correct me if I'm wrong, but every one of us uses backward planning just like we breathe. Hypothetical example. If I delay more than 3 years a full roof replacement on my house, it might cost me triple. I don't have the money now. But what can I do between now and then so that I've got the new roof 3 years from now? I think for a lot of reasons it's insanely difficult for cities and counties to do backward planning. Nevertheless, I'm seeing it to a small fraction that I as a citizen need to see. I need to know that all of our rec center, ball fields, parks, etc. are going to be fully funded and functional and maintained fully, along with the roads and water systems, 3 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 7. Or I need to know ASAP why that isn't currently possible. Why? Because if we knew that as citizens, we could decide whether or not to roll up our sleeves and try and fill the gaps. A large part of my time in the coming months will be trying to help achieve that backward planning, if only by order of magnitude, the 10,000-foot view. I hope that there are ways we can cooperate on that. It certainly would make my efforts more effective. There was an article this morning that speaks how catastrophic the consequences of insufficient backward planning are. Backward planning is not a want, it's a life or death need. The Denver Post article, reading between the lines, we, Colorado, didn't backward plan then to be sure that we had the environment today to retain our high-tech industry, and now we're losing it. And now we're in scramble mode to figure out what we wish we had figured out years ago and do it today. Too late. In my world, it is an unforgivable sin to be in a position like that. It rightly would have cost me my job. Why am I not concerned about forward planning in Cortez? Because the forward planning I see under City Manager Sanders, City Council, and staff is world class. Thank goodness. A foundation to build on. James McGinley, Master Jesus Base Camp, 111 South Elm Street.
Thank you, James. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak? Presentations, we have none. Public hearings, ordinance number 1362, series 2026, an ordinance adopting an employment agreement and fixing the compensation for the city manager, Drew Sanders, presented by Patrick Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, or Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I should say. If you'll recall, we advised you last year that amendments to compensation for any of your appointed officials need to be accomplished through the adoption of an ordinance. You have before you on second reading an ordinance to modify Mr. Sanders' compensation and approve his employment agreement. And with that, it is second reading, so a public hearing would be required. And if you have any questions or comments on the agreement itself, I'm happy to answer them.
I don't see any.
No, I think we made our comments at the last council meeting regarding this, and this being second reading. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, this is open for public comment.
Is there anybody in the public that wants to address? Seeing none.
Seeing none, I move that.
Before we make a motion, I just did want to clarify one thing on the salary, that we are following our pay scale. This is one step in the pay scale for the city manager. So it's one step, which is the same for all of our employees, and we worked with a company to build this pay scale, and it's our goal to follow it going forward. So, thank you.
Excellent point. With that, I move that council approve on second and final reading Ordinance 1362, Series 2026, an ordinance adopting an employment agreement and fixing the compensation for City Manager Drew C. Sanders at $191,776, effective April 13th, 2026.
Second.
Randall,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes. 5B, ordinance number 1363, Series 2026, and ordinance number 1363, Series 2026, an ordinance adopting an employment agreement and fixing the compensation for City Attorney J. Patrick Coleman. Presenter is Drew Sanders, City Manager.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Similar to what our City Attorney just said, that compensation for our City Attorney, who is an appointed official, needs to be set by ordinance. We have presented that to you in here with his compensation for 2026. Also, just of note for not only my contract but his, is that this is in fact a new employment contract, but all it does is really takes the provisions from 4 years of built-up contract and makes it more concise and easy to understand instead of kind of a big bulky contract. So for both of ours, that's what's presented to you, and if there's any questions about the contents of it, I'm happy to answer those directly.
I don't have any questions, but I would like to point out, just as has been mentioned, the fact that both of these contracts were more standardized, brought into a standard format, and I think that was a wise move. Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. Over the past few years, we had an initial contract and then addendum, and what this did is pull it all together into one new contract.
This is second reading. Is there anybody in the public have anything they want to address?
I move that council approve on second and final reading ordinance number 1363, Series 2026, an ordinance adopting an employment agreement and fixing the compensation of City Attorney J. Patrick Coleman at $174,342, effective April 13th, 2026.
Second.
Dobry,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes. Item number 5C, ordinance number 1364, Series 2026, an ordinance creating an airport advisory committee for the city of Cortez, Colorado. Presenter Drew Sanders, City Manager.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this is second reading of the ordinance you have before you. that, if passed, would effectively establish an airport advisory committee, and that would act in an advisory committee function just like others, like the library, arts, parks, etc. So just a little history on this. Before this became fully the possession of the city of Cortez, back when it was operated jointly with Montezuma County, there actually was an airport advisory board at that point in place. However, it acted quite differently, where it was actually a governing board rather than acting in an advisory capacity, where they would be the governing body that would actually hire the airport director and so on. After that was repealed in 2006, there was no longer an advisory committee or board or any other body that acted in that capacity. But as we grow and our airport has become much more effective, it has become more increasingly important to seek effective ways to seek public input, especially for something so specialized as the aviation community in our area here. And if you are not aware, the aviation community in Cortez is very, very active, especially on the private side. And then we also have air medical, firefighting capacity that will come in, et cetera. We just need a way to garner input for you as our council so that you can make well-informed decisions moving forward. So with that in place, as a foundation, we are recommending that council pass this and establish that board so that we can move forward and get that established for you and select committee members. And at that point, I would open it up for any questions the council may have regarding this.
One thing that I saw on there, it was open to 3 city council members in 1 county. I think it might be a little hard pressed to find 3 people from the city, and I'd like to change that from 2 to the county, 2 to the city, if it's
Okay.
possible.
We can make that amendment if there's
Anybody
make
have any
that
disagreement with that? Any problem with that? If you would do that?
if we can get that as part of the motion as amended.
I have a question. Could we leave, instead of having 2 and 2, could we have 2 and 1, and then 1 that could go either way? That way, if we had somebody that was interested who lived in the city, we could have a third from the city, or maybe one, or a second from the county. I was
So
just
could
wondering,
we call that maybe for the ordinance language, 2 city, 2 county, and perhaps 1 at large that could be either one? Would that be?
I think we could,
I
Yeah,
would
I
call
think
it an
that would
at-large that could be selected at the council's direction.
yeah, just so they don't misconstrue that, they've got to be in Montezuma County or the city of Cortez.
Yeah, and because it's advisory only, I don't think you run the risk of county vote, the county vote overruling the city policy votes. So I think it's possible to do what you're asking.
Yeah, so just so I understand, it would be 2 county, 2 city, and 1 at-large that could be selected as long as they're within Montezuma County somewhere by council. Okay?
Yeah, if we have a motion,
Well, one of the things I'd like to say is I feel like in the last few years we've made really great strides in standardizing the advisory boards. And I know we talked about it briefly, but it's coming up tonight with the Arts Advisory Board that we're selecting 1 youth member. The Parks and Rec board has 2. So will there be youth members to this? Do we need to specify that? And should they be 2? I guess let's continue with that standardization if we can, eventually making everything like that similar.
Yeah, there actually is a provision for a youth member on this actual committee. So yes, thank you for that question. And then it would be more of a practice than established in code of selecting an alternate, especially in something that's so specialized as not only in aviation, but a youth member of that. So, the selecting an alternate, especially on just on like an advisory board like this, is quite permissible and probably encouraged just because of the utility of it.
does anybody in the public have any comments they would like to make? No. Oh, We do have one.
Thank you, Council. Just a quick comment, and our airport director, Mr. Sloan, will know more about this, but just a thought for the youth membership. Maybe a representative from the Young Eagles would make sense. And if you have questions, I am not a flyer. I'm not an airport person, although I love our airport, so I will defer to Mr. Sloan for the rest of that, but just a thought for the representative for the youth.
Yeah, we do have Experimental Aircraft Association, which she's referring to as Young Eagles, but we also have a very active Civil Air Patrol cadet program here as well. So we really think that we will have a good pool of youth to draw from. But both of those keep their youth pretty busy too, so.
I'll make a motion. I move that Cortez City Council approve on second and final reading ordinance number 1364, Series 2026, an ordinance creating an airport advisory committee for the city of Cortez, Colorado, with the suggested amendment of 2 Cortez members, 2 Montezuma County members, and 1 at-large member as long as they live in the county.
Second.
Lewis,
Yes.
Haven,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Item number 6 is unfinished business. We have none. 7, new business. 7A is a consideration of acceptance and award of bid for the 2026 Service Center Upper Yard Fuel Delivery System decommission. Council will consider awarding the 2026, Council will consider awarding the 2026 Service Center Upper Yard Fuel Delivery System decommission to Advanced Petroleum Repair, LLC, and authorize the city manager to negotiate and sign a contract and other necessary documents with the company on behalf of the city. Presenter is Casey Simpson, General Service Director.
Good evening, Council. The fuel delivery system at the service center was installed in 1976. It has reached or is close to reaching the end of its service life. The dispensers themselves are 2 out of 3 of them are inoperable. The screens that show you what driver or operator number and what vehicle number and how much fuel are hard to read. And we're beginning to enter a risky phase where the fuel tanks have an increased likelihood of leaking and contaminating the soil under the tanks. I believe we've figured out an efficient and practical alternative by utilizing the above ground tanks in the lower yard to pair diesel and unleaded in the lower yard as opposed to having just diesel down there. However, we still need to remove the below ground tanks from the upper yard. We put together a solicitation RFP for this process. We received 4 bids, and which we were happy with, and they ran the gamut of cost. When looking at the breakdown of costs, it's important to recognize that the low bid is a local outfit, and so right off the top we were looking at about $30,000 to $40,000 in savings on mobilization. Furthermore, the Advanced Petroleum bid did not include the soil contamination or the soil extraction and landfilling or hauling away of that soil, because they've been involved in the fuel delivery system for many, many years, and based on our accounting and maintenance on those tanks, it is not believed that we have any leakage. So their bid came in significantly lower than the others for that reason. In 2026, we set aside, or General Services set aside $165,000 for this project. The proposed extraction is a small fraction, or 23% of the total budget allocating. allocated for that. Now, I think it is important to recognize that should we find contamination, it's going to be a different story, and I'll be back up here in front of you talking about what that looks like and what that costs. But as of right now, we think the city will experience a lot of savings in that regard, which will help us uplift the fuel systems at the parks maintenance and golf maintenance and airport. So there's a good savings there. And we believe that Advanced Petroleum's bid is competitive and offers the best value for the city. Furthermore, I called references, and they come highly recommended. After reviewing the bid proposal from Advanced Petroleum Repair LLC and contacting the listed references, the staff recommends that the 2026 Service Center Upper Yard Fuel Delivery System decommission be awarded to Advanced Petroleum Repair LLC at a bid price of $38,215.00. Subject to any questions.
No, Casey, I would like to thank you for explaining the $86,000 difference on those bids, because when I looked at that, I was like, other than mobilization, how is there such a variance? The other point I'd like to make is I'm pleasantly pleased not only are they the lowest bidder, but they had the highest score on the matrix substantially. So thank you. If there's no further questions by council members, I move that council award the bid for the 2026 Service Center Upper Yard Fuel Delivery System decontamination to Advanced Petroleum Repair LLC at its bid price of $38,215, and authorize the city manager to negotiate and sign a contract with the company on behalf of the city.
Second.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
Randall, Lewis,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes. Item 7B is vehicle purchase for City Street Division. Council will consider approving the purchase of a new one-ton pickup to replace the Street Division's aging 2002 one-ton pickup truck, unit number 992. Our presenter is Casey Simpson, Interim Director of Public Works.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, Drew Sanders here, City Manager. I'll be taking this one. So we received an inquiry actually from you, Mayor Pro Tem, this afternoon or this morning about this and why we only got one bid, which spurred us to check into why we only got one bid. And turns out that we have a flaw in our bid process on this one. There was an error. We have caught that, and therefore, I'm coming to you. Number one, if we make an error, it's part of us being accountable to you and to the community. We declare it. We made an error. We're coming to you and asking for you to table this so that we can go back out and bid this out properly. I would like to also point out my thanks to Mayor Pro Tem Sproul for pointing this out, number one, and number two, also, this is the council system working. This is why we have this system in place. And we need to be held accountable like everybody else, and that's what we're doing tonight. So requesting council that you table this. We will come back to you once that's done properly.
I think we don't have any choice but to table it, and I just want to say to the staff that one pet peeve of the council is only getting one or two bids, and it's always been blamed on one thing or another, and it's not going to fly if you guys don't go out and get your bids correctly. When we bid for a vehicle, there is no reason we get one bid. So if you correct that, council will certainly appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that council table vehicle purchase for City Street Division and allow time to resubmit advertisement for bids.
Second.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes. Okay, item number 7C is the appointment to the Public Arts Committee. Council will consider appointing a youth member to the Public Arts Committee. We had two applicants for that Arts Committee, and I think the council, we're going to talk more about it, but Let's let Daniel Wells, our city clerk, address it first.
Sure. No, you're doing great. You guys presented, or good evening. You guys interviewed 2 members of the youth community, Will Blair and Ava Anderson. They both applied to serve on the Public Arts Committee. Right now, there is only 1 position open, but that can be open for discussion. And this term would be served for 1 year.
I would like to present to the council that we propose, I'd love to see our youth getting involved, and I want both of these people because they will bring a lot to the city of Cortez. I'd like to propose that one of them, or both of them, be submitted as representatives of the city of Cortez to the Art Council. One maybe being a, what would you call them? What would it?
I believe alternate is the...
Alternate is the word I'm looking for. An alternate.
Yeah, I would second that. I think we really have tried to outreach to the community youth, and it's great to have 2 qualified candidates come, and it would be disappointing to send one packing. So I think that would be a great way to handle this, is appoint one as a member and one as an alternate to the Public Arts Committee.
If there's no other discussion, I move to appoint Will Blair as a youth member to the Public Arts Committee for a 1-year term, and that Ava Anderson will be the youth alternate for the Public Arts Committee for the same amount of time.
Second.
Dobry,
Yes.
Yes.
Lewis, DeHaven,
Yes.
Kiefhoffer,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Sproul.
Yes. Item number 8, draft resolution ordinances. Have none. Number 9, city attorney's report.
I have one item. Council, I've advised you previously that we are in litigation over the closure of the dead-end road on North Ash Street. Adams, excuse me. And as part of that litigation, the court has ordered that the parties go through mediation, and that mediation has been scheduled for May 14th. And again, the trial is in August, so if the mediation is not successful, then we will proceed through the litigation process. That's all I have.
Okay, item number 10, city manager's report.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I do have a report for you this evening. First of all, I would like to publicly thank our city clerk, Danielle Wells, for the wonderful and thorough job she has done with the Cortez municipal election this past week. During this critical period, she demonstrated outstanding professional competence in managing the complex administrative demands associated with the election. Her efforts ensured that the coordination between municipal staff, the city council, partner organizations, and the community remained seamless and transparent. Danielle's commitment to public service and ability to navigate the high-pressure environment of the municipal election reflect the highest standards of our organization. Her contributions have directly impacted the success of this 2026 municipal election cycle, and I'd like to give her a round of applause, please. Well done, and thank you. Next, I'd like to thank the 11 candidates who came forward to run for the 5 Cortez City Council seats that were open. Even though some were elected, some weren't, we appreciate all of the candidates' willingness to pursue an elected position and provide service to our community. Next, the City of Cortez will have the honor of hosting the U.S. Navy Brass Band in conjunction with their celebration of the United States 250th anniversary. The performance will take place Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 in Montezuma Park at 6 p.m. The Navy Brass Band is stationed in San Diego, California, and performs throughout the Southwest region. As a side note to this, we were notified of the possibility of this. We responded to them within about 3.4 minutes because we wanted this here. And then our Helen West made the arrangements. So she's largely to thank for actually getting this here and making this be delivered in our community. So thank you. And that concludes my manager's report.
City Manager, may I have a question? Are we still scheduled for the council retreat on May 18th, or has that changed? Do you?
Okay, so let me just check the calendar here. That has not been established. Those are proposed dates, but I will give you, and that has changed a little bit. The proposed dates are either the 28th or 29th of May, but we were waiting to seat the new council so that we could formally establish that as the new council. But those are the proposed dates, and you're the bosses. You'll tell us what you want to do or not.
Item number 11, City Council Committee Reports.
The Golf Course Advisory Committee met on April 3rd. Revenues are up. Last year, revenue sat at 24,720, and so far this year it's 28,226. We talked about the water allocation. The water was scheduled to be turned on April 13th. It did come on earlier. We were updated on our water availability. It looks like we're only going to receive about 35% of our allocation. And that water will probably last at best to the end of June. So lots to be considered there. We had our first tournament. We had over 100 players last weekend. It was called the Masters, and a quick review was covered on the Parks and Rec Master Plan. Councilmember Randall was also present, and would you like to add anything?
It was a cold day, is all I can say.
It was. It's the end of my report.
I don't have a board report, but I would just like to say it's been my pleasure to serve the city of Cortez for the last nearly 6 years, and to thank the council members-elect who will continue on to serve. So thank you.
I'll have more to say that in a little bit.
I will speak for a moment about the Historic Preservation Board, but before I do that, I'd like to speak for a second about, on April 8th, I attended the Four Corners Community Band Concert out at the Lighthouse Event Center, and I want to say thank you to the council because we granted them $1,000 in a grant, and it was a fabulous performance. I was truly impressed. They did some really complicated music. And I will say to you that Helen West was one of the performers, and I was totally surprised and just very thrilled. And thank you, Helen, for all that you do. And those guys get together and they practice once every Monday. Every Monday they practice. And they have 38 members, I guess, somewhere like that. But it's great. You guys did a good job. So meanwhile, back at the Historic Preservation Board, we met on April 7th. Again, we're celebrating the 250th USA anniversary, the 150 Colorado, the 140 Cortez, the 120 Mesa Verde, and the 30th year of the anniversary of the Cortez Historic Preservation Board. The Historic Preservation Board was established in 1996. It was originally established to protect historic signs here in Cortez, and they advise the council on matters related to historic preservation. They maintain the city register of historic structures, sites, districts, and signs here. And we have over 50 commercial and residential properties that are eligible to be on the register. And Helen, you can correct me anytime when I'm done with all this. So that's the Historic Preservation Board. The month of May is May is a month for the 16th annual celebration of the Historic Preservation Days here in Cortez. With that, the City of Cortez Historic Preservation Board is reopening or restarting, bringing back the feature of the historic preservation walks. There's going to be two separate walks. Two separate tours. One is on Montezuma Avenue walking tour. It was last offered in 2026. It's going to be a look at the history and the stories behind some of the homes along Montezuma Avenue, and you can register for it at the museum, or they have a QR code. The second tour is 10 buildings on downtown or Main Street, and it's going to explore the businesses and the events that shaped Cortez's early commercial endeavors. Both of these tours are going to kick off during the Heritage Days, May 1st and 2nd, which is sponsored by the Montezuma Heritage Museum. It celebrates the history, the culture, and the community of Cortez, Montezuma County, and our surrounding region. So this is a copy of some of the poster that announces the announces the walks, and I'm specifically been told to invite council members and you new council members to go on one of the walks. Other news has to do with the 2026 CLG grant that we applied for to survey the 10 high priority commercial properties and 5 of the existing school buildings. We were approved, that grant was approved, but funding is still pending with all of that. I'd like to mention the LOR grants, and Helen, you might jump in here if you have something to help clarify this. But the LOR grants, one of the LOR grants that was presented to the museum is going to be used to offered to people who have historic properties, and we're going to be sending out a letter sometime this month in order to offer to waive the $75 application fee if you have a historic property. And that's only through 2026. We also have a lot of swag that's happening and doing all of this. And Helen, I'd like you to share some of that with us if you could.
Just briefly, I was just writing an email to our Historic Preservation Board because Councilmember Randall knocked her report out of the park. I'm impressed you even recalled when the Historic Preservation Board started 30 years ago. Big year for Cortez. So the Montezuma Heritage Museum is, of course, an important partner for the Historic Preservation Board, and they sponsored a grant somewhat on behalf of the Cortez Historic Preservation Board, but also it benefits the Montezuma Historical Society as well. So in addition to some things that the museum needed, the city and the museum are going to be able to purchase plaques that use the Cortez logo and the LOR logo, but recognize properties as historic. So similar to what the Calkins Buildings has in Ertel's funeral home, those national plaques will have one for city registered buildings free of charge for the people who have registered their property. So some just fun forward-facing honoring of our town's history this year. And again, as Dr. Randall said, Councilmember Randall, for this year only, the application fee is waived because of this generous grant. The city of Cortez does pay recording fees when someone records their property as historic, and so this grant will pay for those recording fees and staff time processing those applications. So if you have a potentially eligible property, this is your year to get that recorded.
And the other exciting thing is that through some grant funding, we've also been able to purchase a large two-sided banner that's going to go over 160 to celebrate this in Cortez. So it's great. And an aside that I thought was interesting, the realtor who works with the board reported to us that the sales of homes in Cortez here, there have been fewer homes sold this last year to date this year versus last year. Fewer homes have sold. But the price of housing that's actually sold here in Cortez has increased 20%. And that's, I think, a very interesting tidbit. Anyway, and they're staying longer on the market. So that's it. Thank you.
I was able to attend the library board meeting Let me get my notes up. The library has been really busy. Visitation is up, circulation is up. The Friends of the Library has been very active. They made over $800 in a Valentine Day bake sale and blind date with a book fundraiser. There's been more events and more attendance at events. Storytime participants has tripled. The size of the collection and the number of library cards went down some because of the cleaning that the library did to switch to Aspen Cat. There's now around like 6,500 library card holders, and that's just a good. They really went through and got rid of all the defunct information out of the system, and which helps us save some money too, because we pay to have all the books and cards in the system. Let's see. Circulation has been steady for the past 3 months, and interlibrary loans have been up. They've been updating the software on the computers in the library to stop some glitches that happen when you use a computer at the library. You have like a timed, set amount of time, and that software that sets the timer, and the software that protects people from going to inappropriate websites don't communicate well, and so there's a lot of issues that takes up a lot of staff time. So Leroy's been working with IT and getting all of that done. Leroy's been doing a lot of things. They've got 3D printers tested and laptops up, and have done some high school programs. They've had families from Tisnos Pas come for a monthly story time. They had a master gardener workshop. And he's also been doing a lot of behind the scenes things, like gone through and done a full review of all the staff job descriptions and made sure that those were up to date with what people were actually doing and the proper terminology for their positions. And he's been working on a full review of library policies. And let's see. Yeah, there's just a lot going on at the library. I also want to say thank you to everyone this time on council. It's been a wonderful opportunity to serve the public and to work with a different group of people than I normally interact with in my day-to-day life. I have a lot of things that I'm proud of, but like giving the library highlights, I'm really proud of a lot of the work I did on the library, and I'm happy to have Leroy here and to see things as they move forward. So.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, on Thursday, April 2nd, I attended the Parks, Recreation, Forestry Advisory Board meeting. And I'll just give a few highlights. The Forestry Committee, I believe, was scheduled to meet today as a subcommittee, and the Rec User Group is meeting at the end of April. In terms of the Parks Recreation Master Plan update, as of that meeting, we had bids that were due last week. We received 8 bids for that, and the people on that committee were planning to convene and discuss the scores. Planning updates, just trying to finish up projects really previously begun and come up with a really unique 3-year planning for any of the major projects. And I really actually appreciated this design. I'm probably going to steal it and somehow use it at the garden center or something, but to really plan first, a 2nd-year design, and then 3rd really to kind of build out, which is really fantastic and makes a lot of sense. And then we talked a little bit about some of the 2027 emerging issues and priorities that were identified by the 7 people on the leadership team. And those are the master plan, the rec center sales tax, financial planning moving forward, maintenance best practices, marketing, branding, and outreach, leadership development, some really worthy issues and priorities. And then we finally did some operational reports as well. So we talked a little bit about the pool and the fact that it's going to open here really soon. The golf course at that point was really greening up, and we've had rain the last couple days, so that's good. Parks, and then the Parks and Rec summer program, we're expecting that to be full. So that's really fantastic news. So it seems like we really do cover a lot within, a 2-hour period. And I guess that's kind of my testament and what I've seen in my time on city council. And I'm old, like really old. Like this is my second time going around. So 13 years total since 2006, I believe, something like that. And the thing that I think most impresses me about the city of Cortez is all the people who work for the city care, and you can tell, and it's across the board. So it's, the departmental folks, it's the boots on the ground folks, it's the leadership. Everybody really cares, and you can see it and you can feel it. They're very responsive, and they're responsive to us as city council members. So I would just say to the new council members coming on, reach out, ask questions, know that these folks have your back and they're really here for the betterment of the city of Cortez. So don't forget to do that. And it was a really great 13 years. I can't believe it. It went really fast, and I'm old.
Okay, we'll do item number 11A, which is the mayor's report on a workshop. We had 2 youth individuals interview for a position on the Public Arts Youth Committee, or on the Public Arts. Our youth had 2 of them interview for that position. And then we went into executive session. We received education from contract affordable housing coordinator Jennifer Lopez on a proposed housing project on West 7th Street. Item 11B is other board reports. We have none. Item number 12, public participation. Individuals may comment on items that are on the council agenda during the public participation time. There is no limit to the number of speakers and no overall time limit. Speakers have a time limit of 3 minutes per person, may only speak once, and may not cede time to another commenter. Please, does anybody have anybody from the audience? Okay, now we're going to go on to item number 13, which is other items of business. We've been skipping through this, it seems like, and I keep bringing it up. I think this is a good time for any council member that has something on their mind that they want to get out to the public and say. And I do have something on my mind, and it's losing some really good friends. This council has been amazing. To get in a room with these people, it's mind-boggling, the information that they have and the amount of commitment they have to the city of Cortez. And I want to thank the outgoing members and wish them the best. They are going to be here again in 2 weeks, but if they have any words of wisdom for the new city council coming in, I know that they will give it because they're not afraid to help out the citizens of Cortez. So I personally want to thank Matt, Lydia, and Robert for doing such a fantastic job. That being said, adjourned? No? Oh, we have a motion. First.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Second.
Randall,
Yes.
DeHaven,
Yes.
Kiefhofer,
Yes.
Dobry,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Sproul.
Absolutely.